Welcome to the video on overall profitability ratios. We know there are different categories of ratios under ratio analysis, among which profitability ratios is one such category. The profitability ratios can again be classified into two, the general profitability ratios and the overall profitability ratios. The general profitability ratios include the operating ratio, the operating profit ratio, the gross profit ratio, and the net profit ratio. Now, today we will discuss on the overall profitability ratios, the different ratios involved in it, the significance and importance of each ratios, and also the calculation and formula of each ratios. So first we will move to the first ratio, that is return on shareholders fund. This particular ratio shows the rate of profit on shareholders fund. That means the profit which is available to the shareholders on the total investment. So what is the net profit available for them on the total investment is shown in return on shareholders fund ratio. So the calculation is as follows: net profit after interest and tax divided by shareholders fund into 100. Now let's look into each item in the equation. First item, we are clear about it, net profit after interest and tax. The second item is shareholders fund, which may include the equity share capital, the preference share capital, and the reserves and surplus. So if any fictitious assets are given, we should deduct that particular item also to arrive at the shareholders fund. So that is all about return on shareholders fund. It shows the rate of profit on shareholders fund. Second one, we have the return on equity share capital. So the first one shows the return on shareholders fund, but the second ratio shows the return on equity share capital only. It indicates the return on the equity share capital. That means we know that all the owners are more interested with this ratio because it indicates the success of the company in generating the earnings on their behalf. So return on equity share capital ratio is better when it is higher in nature. So higher the ratio, the better it will be. So let's see how to calculate it. Net profit after interest and tax and preference dividend divided by equity share capital into 100. So we are aware of the two items that is given in the equation. So I hope these two ratios are clear. Now let's see the third ratio, which is one of the most important ratios under the overall profitability ratios, which is known as return on investment, or which is also known as ROI in short form. So return on investment is also known as the return on capital employed. That means this particular ratio indicates the return on capital employed in the business. We know that each and every investor invests a particular amount or invest a particular capital in a particular business or firm with an expectation to get the return back on that particular investment. So this ratio shows whether the investors get a return on the investment. This particular ratio shows the efficiency of the business. Is the business efficient enough to generate that returns so that they get a return, the investors get a return in back in return. So let's see how it is calculated. It is equal to the net profit before interest and tax and dividend divided by capital employed into 100. Now let's see what is capital employed. So capital employed can be the sum of the share capital, reserves and surplus, and debentures. Or in other words, it can also be calculated as follows. That means fixed assets plus current assets minus current liabilities. So in this two manner, we can arrive at the capital employed so that we can calculate a return on investment or ROI. Okay. So let's move to the fourth one, that is earnings per share, which is popularly known as EPS. So this particular ratio, earnings per share, helps in the assessment of profitability of the firm from equity shareholders' point of view. So all the equity shareholders need to know that whether they earn a particular amount of money or whether they earn anything on a particular share owned by them. So this ratio measures the profit available to the shareholders, that means the equity shareholders, per share. So now let's see what is the equation. Is equal to EPS is equal to net profit available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares issued. So please take a note that it is total number of equity shares issued only. So no preference shares are included here. So EPS determines the market price of the equity shares of the company. So market price is determined by EPS. It also estimates the company's capacity to pay dividend to its equity shareholders. So this is all about EPS, which is very important from a firm's or the shareholders, equity shareholders point of view. Now let's see another ratio which is similar to the name of EPS, but it is known as PE ratio. That is price earning ratio, PE ratio. So the price earning ratio shows the relationship between the market price of a share and the EPS. That means it indicates the number of times the EPS is covered by its market price. So it shows the relationship between market price of a share and EPS. So let's see the calculation. Price earning ratio is equal to market price per equity share divided by EPS. That is market price per share, MPS divided by EPS. So this price earning ratio helps an investor to take a decision whether to buy the shares of a company or not to buy the shares of a company at a particular market price. So the investors look into the price earning ratio to make such an investment decision. So when price earning ratio is higher, it is better. That will be better for the equity shareholders. So higher the ratio, the better it is for the equity shareholders. That's all about EPS and price earning ratio. Sixth one, we have the dividend yield ratio. Dividend yield ratio. So this ratio is useful to the investors who are interested in the dividend income only. Only those who are interested in the dividend income. So dividend yield ratio helps in knowing the effective return an investor is going to get on the proposed investment. What will be the return that an investor can get on this proposed investment, that is shown or that is measured in dividend yield ratio. So the calculation goes like dividend per share by market price per share into 100. That is DPS divided by MPS into 100. So per share will be taken. Okay. Seventh one is dividend payout ratio. So sixth one was dividend yield ratio. Now we have dividend payout ratio. So it is also known as payout ratio. Payout ratio. So this measures the relationship between the earnings which is belonging to the equity shareholders and also the dividend which is actually paid to them. So the earnings and dividend, the relationship between both these items are taken into consideration. So it can be calculated as DP ratio is equal to total dividend paid to equity shareholders divided by total net profit belonging to equity shareholders into 100. Or it can also be calculated as dividend per equity share divided by earnings per share. So per share or in total we can take it for the calculation of dividend payout ratio. Eighth, we have the return on total assets. So return on total assets measures the relationship between the net profit and the total assets. Net profit and the total assets. So this is also known as return on gross capital employed. So mainly it measures the profitability of an investment. So we can know the overall profitability with the help of this ratio, which is calculated as net profit before interest and tax and dividend divided by total assets into 100. So the net profit means it will be the net profit before interest, tax and dividend. Okay. And the ninth and the last ratio, which comes under the overall profitability ratio, is capital turnover ratio. So this shows the relationship between the cost of revenue from operations as well as the capital employed. So it can be calculated to measure the efficiency or effectiveness with which a firm utilizes its resources or its capital employed. So the utilization of resources by a firm and its efficiency and effectiveness can be measured using capital turnover ratio, which can be calculated as revenue from operations divided by capital employed into 100. So as you know, revenue from operations means it is a sales amount. Okay, so these are the different overall profitability ratios which must be calculated and considered to determine the overall profitability of a business firm. Thank you.